When I was young, I would hear people discuss closure. I never understood what that meant until now. Whether we're mourning a loved one that has passed away, a failed relationship, or even an unachieved dream, we feel the loss in our hearts, and the absence of what was once there resonates throughout our souls. If we have some unanswered questions, then that hole never really gets filled in. It just waits to be covered up like an open, unmarked grave. The certainty of not knowing what truly occurred, mixed with the pain of loss, can cause turmoil in one's mind and turn our thoughts into distress, our memories into regrets, our dreams into nightmares. Of course, finding out the truth will not take the pain away, but it can help to begin the healing process, much like when a cut can heal properly once it's been disinfected and left the scar over. Although the wound is healed, the mark has been left behind. The remembrance of what we lost is the scar. I'm your host, El Bro Monroe, and you're listening to Haunted by.
I think the first thought that came to mind was when I was an altar boy, I guess.
Okay.
Because I feel like my youth, and I've been telling people I've told you many times, and I've told my loved ones, my close ones, that I just feel like I don't remember a lot of oh shit, about my youth. I don't know if it's like normal, because some people say I was reading this thing that said that it's not normal for you not to remember your youth. That you're supposed to remember a lot of your youth, and I don't remember a lot of my youth. So I don't know what the fuck happened. Like I really don't know. I don't know if anything happened back then, but I definitely do remember because that kind of led to, I guess, the incident that I talked to you about, and you're like one of the first people that I talked about, especially because I ran into this person. But it was like in the fourth grade when I was on the blacktop at school, and some kid just kind of like wrestled my arms for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if we were just because I was playing basketball, like I said. I don't know if he was playing basketball with us or not, but he kind of like came at me and like pushed me. So I kind of like pushed him back, right? And then he kind of like grabbed my wrist and like put him down towards my waist, and then he kind of like let go of my wrist and grab my wiener. You know what I mean? So like I thought that was weird. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I remember that obviously. It was fourth grade. I was probably about 10, but I feel like I don't remember a lot before that. So I don't know if something, and that's a lot of the years that I was an altar boy and all that. So I mean, I don't know if anything happened. I really can't say, but I've always joked around with my mom. I always told her like, "Hey, mom, whenever we would go to church when I was like older, especially in my adult life, she'd be like, "Do you remember when you were an altar boy?" Yeah, yeah, I do remember. I remember when the priest would touch me or whatever, and just fucking around. Obviously, I have a lot of dark humor, but I don't remember if anything did happen, and that's what I kind of wanted to like just finally tell the world, I guess, because I've only told you and my girl, and that's pretty much it. I haven't told anybody else until just now. But yeah, I mean, I've carried that around, and then the fact that it came up recently in last year when I was with you, we walked into a Subway, if you remember, and the dude that touched me was working there, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, so, and it was that time that I guess I saw him for the first time, and I just kind of like stopped, and I felt like in the movies where how they kind of go like zoom, and they just kind of like focus everything out and then just focus on you in like the hallway or whatever. That's what I kind of felt. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, there's this cat that touched me, touched my wiener or whatever, touched me that I didn't allow it, and he just kind of like did what he did, and he was there preparing food. And then I think you might have ordered, and I was like, nah, like I'm good. I didn't want to get like up there. If you remember, I think I might have walked out. I was on my phone, right, and I just walked out, and I was just like waiting for you. I always thought that was weird, and I would work close there, and I would see him sometimes in the drive-through window, be like, what the hell? Like that's the cat that did what he did, fucking weirdo. And the weirdest thing is that like he has, I don't know if it's his sister or cousin. She's way older. She's probably maybe about 1 or 2 years older than me, maybe three at most. And I'm cool with her. Like I've always been cool with her since I met her. She's always been a sweetheart. And the I guess like the brother that's my age, we kind of talked in growing up, but we were never like homies. We're just like acquaintances, I guess you could say. And obviously that kid that did what he did, I never touched it, like anything with him. Like never did anything with him. Never played any ball with him. Never played a game with him. Never really interacted with him until he grab my wrist and my other stuff. So that's when I saw him. And I was like, nah, it just felt weird, you know. And that's when I guess all the memories flooded back, and I was like, damn, I feel like I'm back in elementary school. Like it was just weird being there. But I guess I carry that around. Um, I guess it haunts me, quote unquote. But not in a bad way. I rarely think about it, but now that I've seen him in the past year, I guess it's popped up in my head more and more and more. Especially seeing shit on social media about different things and different documentaries and all that. But I think that's what I've seen, and then and it feels good to finally fucking see it, I guess. But yeah, being an altar boy, dude, like I don't remember that at all. I just remember wearing those weird little gowns. Like it was weird as hell because I mean, I was always the young one with my family. It was always me, my sister. She was a year older than me. My cousin Scarecrow, he's maybe about 3 years older than me. And then my cousin after that is 4 years older than me. And I think Scarecrow's brother out of our little group, he's the oldest one. He's probably about 5, 6 years older than me. So it was always us, you know what I mean? It was Scarecrow's brother, and my other cousin Scarecrow, my sister, and and I was always like the young one. So I mean, they experienced everything before me. Obviously, they would hand me down a bunch of stuff. So I always had Scarecrow's like jackets, like the starter jackets from the '90s, and it always had his name, embroidered. So people would think that I was him because of the name. I'd be like, nah, bro, that's my cousin. Like this is me. Like, why did you say that? And I'd be like, fuck, well, it's a hand me down. So I guess that kind of fucked with me too for a little bit. Always having to do secondhand shit. Um, I don't know, just dealing with people's shit, like it wasn't my own for the longest. It was weird. So they did all like the Catholic stuff, like the what do you call it, the first communion, because obviously we got baptized as babies, so I don't remember that. But we did the first communion all together, like I said, the big age difference, and they kind of let me in just because it was a big group. I guess like that my family is cool with the people at church. So they didn't mind me being the young one being in those classes, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just remember one day my tia was like, "Hey, get your shoes on. We're gonna go to some class." And I'm like, "The hell?" So I just jumped in the van because everybody's going. All the cousins. I was like, "Fuck you, we're gonna go somewhere cool." So we went, and next thing like, "Oh, you're gonna go with this lady up there?" And I'm like, "What the hell?" And I'm the young one, so they put me in a different class than everybody else. So all my cousins dipped out, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be by myself." I was probably about, I'd probably say 7 or 8, if I remember correctly. I remember just being young as hell, and I was like looking out the window, like, where's everybody? Like, where's my family? It was just weird because it was church, and I wasn't really used to going to church, I guess. So I was doing that for a while, and then, like I said, I was always the young one doing it. They kind of snuck me into confirmation as well, doing all that. But like I said, I don't remember anything really from about 7 when I started church to about 10 when I got out of all that shit. And when I say I got out of it, is like I finished everything, like my confirmation pretty much, which I think the next thing is matrimony, which I haven't gotten married yet, obviously. But I pretty much finished everything early at a younger age than most people did at that time, just because I would get snuck in or whatever. They would just accept me because of the situation, the circumstance that it was like always 5 of us that was doing whatever program or activity or whatever. So I guess like a group discount or some shit. I don't know. But it was just, I'd feel like it was weird when all that happened. And then that's when I discovered cable TV, I guess. And that's when I kind of stopped going to church altogether because I started watching wrestling. And it was during the Attitude Era, so it was always like, boobs on TV and Stone Cold Steve Austin chugging beers. So that's when I kind of changed, and I was like, I'm good on all that other shit. I stopped playing with toys. I was like, later, I'm out. I don't know what happened though. In my home life, it was always good. I mean, it was always just me, my mom, and my sister. I mean, my dad lived in California at the time when I was growing up, so he was never around. So I don't know if that kind of did anything, but I mean, I always had good father figures in my life. I had my grandpa, R.I.P. to him. I had all my tios, my cousin. I mean, I had a couple of people that were father figures. Hold on. But I mean, other than that, there was nothing bad, bro. I mean, that I remember. But like I said, I don't remember much. I just remember being in school and always getting good grades and always getting tested for different shit. So, and then when I say tested, like it's like gifted and talented and all that weird shit. So now that I was also talking about that with my girlfriend recently, we're like, are we possibly on the spectrum? That's what we were asking each other. Because she said she always had weird tendencies as a kid. I told her a couple of weird things that I would do, but then we just thought it was normal for kids to do. But we've been watching a bunch of different, like I said, videos, documentaries, different shit, reading different articles, and a lot of the stuff that they say are symptoms of possible whatever's on the spectrum, we kind of think like, do we have it? So we don't know if that has anything to do with it. Like like I said, my dad was never really around growing up, so I never really needed that, I guess, because I had other figures. But then I don't know, it just kind of weird in that sense, you know? Like that kind of haunts me because I would always, like I said, I always get tested for GT humanities, which is the gifted and talented and all that. And I would always be so close to passing, but I never quite got there. I'd always get high scores on everything, but I never got commended. I never got exemplary or any of that bullshit. So that's what I always kind of think, like, was I? Because I always thought that they were maybe testing me for that, but they were low key calling it something else. So I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that kind of haunts me too, because I'm kind of confused in that aspect. Every year, every couple weeks, every couple months, they'd always be giving me a new test. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I was never in any special classes by any means. I was always top of the class of everything. I got all these awards when I graduated elementary school. I got every award you could think of, bro. I had perfect attendance all the time. A and B honor roll. I mean, A honor roll, A B honor roll, all that good stuff. Citizenship awards. I was fucking part of the safety patrol. I got the president's award actually when I graduated. I got George W. Bush. He signed my shit when he was president at the time. It's weird, dude. It's weird. George W. Like I still have it framed, bro. It's somewhere in storage, but I have all that stuff, dude. I'm telling you, I was like top of the class, but I feel like that was all thanks to my cousins, my sister, because they were older than me, so they would kind of prep me for shit. So that's why like I was a little advanced, but not too advanced. So I feel like that's kind of like that kind of played in that part where they thought that I was smart and all this shit, but I really wasn't. I was just kind of ahead of the curve just because I had the influences that would show me, oh, we're gonna do this math work or this worksheet today, and I'd be like, all right, cool, fucking. They'd be there with my sister, my cousins, because I want to hang out with them, so I would learn and I get good grades. But then all that shit went out the window when middle school hit, bro. Like I don't know if I just stopped caring or if I something changed, or I mean, I don't know if the death of my grandma at a young age affected me. I feel like that did, but once my grandma got sick, I just stopped giving a fuck, dude. It was weird. Like I could pretty much say that my life changed. So I don't know if that had anything to do with my life as well. I mean, I don't know what trajectory I was supposed to go or what, you know what I mean? But that kind of confused me. I remember quite a bit, but not too much, where people would like ask me, say, hey, do you remember this in this class? I'd be like, nope. And I'd be like, oh, do you remember this? And I was like, shit, I was there. Like, yeah, you were there, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I was there. But I don't remember a lot. I just remember people doing stupid stuff in middle school. I remember some kid sliced his wrist one time when he punched a window. I remember that. I remember there was a big rumble. Probably like 40, 50 kids fighting at once. Those are just big things that stick out, but nothing too crazy. A couple little memories here and there with like, I guess interactions with friends, especially friends that passed away, which now you kind of think about, you're like, what the hell? Like, that's weird, you know? Yeah, it's just trippy. Like now that I'm a massage tech or whatever, a massage therapist at work, there's this homie that passed away, my boy Adrian, and he would give me the best massages in high school, bro. Like I think he kind of planted that seed in my head to be a massage therapist, consider it somehow. So when I did go to, school or whatever, I did kinesiology, and that kind of falls in line with well-being and all that. So now that I'm doing it, I feel like it's kind of full circle and shit. It's weird. Because before that, I never even considered doing that as a career or even as a job choice at all. And now I'm doing it as like a job. It's weird. You know what I mean? Trust me, I just, because every time I do it, I think about my boy, Fat Boy, my boy Adrian. Like, he's the one that kind of inspired me. It's weird. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's weird, dude. So I don't know, but I do remember, like I said, quite a bit from middle school, just not too much. I just remember, like I said, big events when I fucked up my knee, when I got, in trouble for doing whatever I would do, like if I ditched school or whatever. And that's when I started ditching, dude. Like it was weird. I would skip school and just do whatever the fuck I would do. I feel like that's when I started developing who I was as a person. Not fully, obviously, but I feel like that's when I was like, you know what? Let me break away a little bit. Let me get away from this shadow, because I was always that little sheltered little boy. Like I couldn't do shit, bro. My grandma had me on a tight leash. I couldn't. If the sun was going down anywhere near, boom, I had to be inside. I couldn't, huh? Yeah, I was a baby at the time. Yeah. So, I mean, I can see that, you know what I mean? But it was just, I feel like I was a little too sheltered. So, I mean, I was a little crybaby or whatever. And, I had to grow some thick skin or whatever. I didn't learn how to ride a bike till I was fucking like 11 or 12, bro. Like it was, yeah, that was crazy. You know what I mean? Like I never had a bike growing up. I was just too poor to afford one. Like I could never get one. I could never ask for one. We would just play sports, something that everybody could do, growing up, since we didn't have, PlayStations and all that. we would just play ball, play some sort of game outside with all the friends. But then that's when everybody started growing up, and then they had sports, they had other activities, so all that died out. So that's when I was left alone, I guess, and that's when I started figuring out what I liked and what I started, messing with and people I started hanging out with. And then, like I said, my grandma got sick, and then so I just started breaking off, doing my thing, and then I joined sports, started doing my other thing, and then a couple years later, that's when I started hanging out with some bad boys, doing what we did, smoking some weed, doing bad boy things, That's how it was. But I feel like that kind of fucks with me. I guess losing someone so close at a young age. But I mean, it was formative. I guess it helped me grow up a little bit. So I kind of see it that way too, where became a little bit more independent. So I kind of like it. But I just, like I said, do miss my loved ones, obviously. And then another thing I want to talk about too before we leave was I guess being a Latino, being a man, and then growing up I was supposed to be, the man of the house, quote unquote. Not being handy, bro. Not being handy as a man. That kind of fucks with me. And now looking back, I mean, my mom had was seeing someone at a time when I was growing up, and he was very handy. He would do everything, bro. Like, the motherfucker would go lay concrete. He would go wire shit. He would go be a mechanic. He would go build houses. He did everything, bro. The handiest motherfucker like I've ever known. Anything you want, he could just do it. So I mean, I was a kid, bro. I didn't give a fuck at that time. I was like into, like I said, the wrestling. I would stay up late. I want to wake up early. And so this dude would always do his jobs like early Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and my mom would always be like forcing me to go. And I hated that shit, dude. Like, I hated having to be forced to do something that I didn't want to do. And I still do. I mean, if I don't want to do something, I just don't do it now because I'm an adult. Like, no one can tell me shit, right? But as a kid, bro, my mom would force me to go be out there fucking 7 a.m. laying concrete. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I would just go with the motions. And she always be like, well, go learn because you're the man of the house. I think that kind of haunts me too. Like, that kind of just there was always like that monkey on my back where now that I'm older, sometimes I do struggle with certain shit where I'm like, fuck, like, how do I fix this? So I'll just call up one of the homies, or I'll call my dad, like, hey, dad, do you know somebody that does this? Or can you help me out? And he'll tell me what to do. Or if not, just go Google. I mean, YouTube, you know what I mean? YouTube University. But I think being a man, being a Latino man, that's not as handy as, the average, I guess you could say. I think that kind of fucks with me. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people that are handy or whatever you want to call it, manly men, whatever, they don't have the skills that I do. As far as, yeah, it might not be, I can't fucking build you a house, but I could probably design a house for you. You know what I mean? With my computer shit, which is cool because they don't know how to fucking print. They don't know how to connect to the internet. They don't know how to download a fucking app. They don't know how to log in. I can help people out with that, which is cool. We help each other out. That's what society is all about. We trade and shit. We trade my goods and services for your goods and services. Yeah, dude. Because I remember growing up, I mean, I didn't know how to do shit, and I still don't know how to do a bunch of stuff. But I mean, I try, and then like now I look up stuff and I'm like, hey, how can I fix it? How can I do this? How can I do that? But then if not, just call up a homie or somebody, like I said. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Yeah. No, and yeah, dude, it's awesome because it's like we have a homie in common that's always talking shit to us, and you know how it is. You're not a man, blah blah. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up, Exactly. So I don't know, man, but I would say those are probably the things that I've carried around for a long time. Obviously, not that I've never been able to talk to, but I just never found that medium or that person that understands. You know what I mean? So I mean, thanks for being that person, bro.